what do you find, Tommie, that the young generation of young kids, when they meet you now and they speak to you, what's kind of the most common thing they say to you all the time?
How fast did you run? What was your time? What else?
What were you thinking?
That's the big. What were you thinking? But what does it mean? A lot of them don't know. They just know the picture. They see the fist in the air.
They don't know the history of it, do they?
No, they think it's cool, you know. It wasn't cool. That's the hardest thing you ever want to get close to, you know. Is the politics around it.
Sorry, consider what happened afterwards. Do you have any regrets?
Oh no. My dad always told me if you regret, then you was wrong in the first place.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, Daddy, you're right. No, none. But I do receive that question a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a good question. It's a good question. That's why I hear it a lot. All the time. I've been fearful since 1965. Because I always believe in human rights, but I had no vehicle, no platform, and certainly no voice. Where you become the best in the world in something, somebody don't want to hear you say anything. I was very careful what I said. I made sure it was social, respectfully social, proactive in nature, and spiritual in content. You have to, you bring in life, totally. You have to be a nice person. You can't go out and start cussing and screaming and get in front of a camera and be nice. You have to be the same way all the time. And then pretty soon that niceness becomes part of it.
Yeah.
One of the things I wanted to ask you was about how you felt when you were in the midst of doing the protest, but also how those people closest to you responded to you afterwards. Because I know that you talked to some people, you know, you did tell people beforehand, but I'm not sure how they then responded in terms of the aftermath of the action.
I think the most important part of the last few days before the Olympic Games were the decision not to boycott. Okay? Then it would be too simple and too mindless to take what had happened a year and a half before as far as organization, as far as me going around to different states talking to the Olympic hopefuls about the Olympic Project for Human Rights and why. It was nonviolent. We were athletes and young men, and we owe to the communities which have served us.
Sorry, Tommie, can I just clarify that? So a year, 1967, a year before the Games, you were doing this, you were going...
Oh, yeah. The Olympic Project for Human Rights was an umbrella. It wasn't a couple of black athletes just doing their own thing. No, this was a political platform. And it was developed early in 67. A bit later, the latter part of 66, I thought was there, but early in 67. So we had a chance to move to different states, to different colleges, talking to different athletes. We made hundreds of presentations around the country about the Olympic Project for Human Rights. We wanted people to understand what was happening because it was happening so fast on different campuses. And I did not want San Jose to become a ride campus just because we had nothing to do. We had something to do. We were college students. So being one of the fastest athletes in the world, and believe it or not, I very seldom spoke. Right now you can't shut me up. But I very seldom spoke. And when Tommie Smith set all these world records and he never said anything of what's going on in this guy's mind. So once I was positioned on that board of 4 of the Olympic Project for Human Rights, which started at San Jose State, and that's when it really blossomed. Then I began to go and talk to these athletes, and I got a very good response. If nothing but, no, I don't want to get involved. That's a response. And you take that, you take the good from what you just heard, and you apply it next time. So you keep going. You're like a politician almost. You just keep, I didn't lie as much, but you almost the same thing, you know. So that's how it worked. And to answer your question now, okay? When it was decided we not boycott, then it was said that each athlete would represent themselves according to how they felt about a country that did not represent them. So it freed everybody up to do something or nothing. Since it started on San Jose State campus, and I was the only man in track and history to hold 11 world records simultaneously, so that put me at a pinnacle of the group that was part of the Olympic Project for Human Rights. And I couldn't speak I'm not there yet. I'm not the victory stand yet. Let me back up a bit. I didn't know what to do, though I was very happy that the group voted not to boycott. Then I could run. If the group had said, yeah, we're going to boycott, we're not going to run, then I wouldn't run. I mean, it was started on the San Jose State campus, and if they voted not to run, I'm going to run anyway? I don't think so. But I was very happy that the group voted to run and to do what each thought necessary. And that's how my stand evolved. I began to think, how can I proportion myself critically enough, but yet and still non-violent, so people can understand the plight of what I'm doing, because I couldn't speak. You know, actions speak louder than words, so that was good. So that's how I thought of things. When you see me walking across the field to the podium, how many of you saw that? Okay. What did you notice about the feet?
Didn't have shoes on? Or black socks?
That's it. Black socks. How many of you know what those black socks represent? Poverty. Yeah, he's been reading. Of course, the gloves and the Puma shoe. People don't understand what the Puma shoe was about. And the a lot of things that I had to think of, because it had to be visible, and it had to be almost academic, including my right turn. Flag was over here, stands here. Carlos back there, Peter Norman here. So when we turned, Peter Norman was in front of me, John Carlos was behind me, and the flag was out here. My military turn. You know, I didn't slouch around and turn around and yo man, it was a military turn. I was in Reserve Officer Training Corps at school. That's why I had the military turn. So you guys have been in the military. And as soon as the flag was raised and the national anthem started playing, of course, it was a time of my life. That was it. All the preparation, a year and a half, was there, right there. And the national anthem played, and I know my mouth began to take his words and kind of make one out of them. The national anthem, to me, it was the longest song in the history of music. I just stood there. Oh, Lord. I said the Lord's Prayer. I sang some of the whole thing. Yeah, I could have said it twice. It was so long, and when it said dun 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 dun, you know, at the end of it, man, was I glad. It was time for anybody to take a shot at me. Anything could have happened. So I was very happy to get off the victory stand and walk across the field. So once I walked across the field, and you saw the fist go up for the last time as I walked across the field, that was history. That was the turning of another page in the history of Tommie Smith's life. That book had been closed.